Today I'm going to talk about the topic homeostasis. Homeostasis, you are often asked to give a definition of the homeostasis, and it is referred to maintaining a constant internal environment. Also in this chapter, you have to know the concept of negative feedback. Negative feedback is defined as a control process in which a changed factor stimulates corrective actions to return to its set point. For example, when the factor rises above set point, then receptors sense change in a factor and then bring about the corrective actions. The one that brings about corrective actions is called effector, so that the effectors act to decrease factor, so that the factor just remains in a set point, just constant level. So for negative feedback to work, receptors and effectors must be present. And receptor, the role of the receptor is to detect stimuli. Stimuli is referred to as change in the environment, and then pass message either via endocrine or nervous system to effectors, which bring about a response. And the result is the effector fluctuates around a set point. Fluctuates. Inhaling CO2 is the example of positive feedback. Let's just look at osmoregulation first. Question on osmoregulation topic comes out really frequently, so you should master this topic. So osmoregulation is defined as the control of water potential. Water potential is monitored by osmoreceptors in hypothalamus. Hypothalamus is like a central control. So when the water potential in the cell decreases, then the nerve impulses are sent to posterior pituitary gland. This is just the name of the gland, and you must memorize this thing. In the exam, you have to write this word exactly, posterior pituitary gland, okay? And then this posterior pituitary gland stimulates the release of antidiuretic hormone. This is also written as ADH in short. Antidiuretic hormone, as the name suggests, it is antidiuretic, anti-dilute. It is against dilute something. It is against dilute urine. So to prevent too much loss of water from the body, it is against producing dilute urine. So when the kidney reabsorb more water, then it will produce concentrated urine. So this will prevent the loss of high amounts of water, okay? How ADH works. ADH binds to receptors in cell surface membrane of collecting ducts. I will just draw simply. This is the cell of collecting ducts, and then this is the cell surface membrane. So there is a receptor cell here. This is ADH receptor. Then ADH will bind to the receptor cell in the cell surface membrane of collecting duct. Then this will activate enzymes, and this in turn causes vesicles surrounded by membrane containing aquaporins. These are the vesicles to move to and fuse with cell surface membrane of collecting ducts. So the vesicles surrounded by membrane containing aquaporins will just fuse with the cell surface membrane of collecting duct. So the aquaporins, then now it will be located in the cell surface membrane of collecting duct. Aquaporin is the just pathway, is the gate for the water. Then when the water pathway is located in the cell surface membrane of collecting duct, then this means that the permeability of membrane to water increases, so that water can move out from the collecting duct cell to the blood. So it will produce concentrated urine, and thus it will just put water potential level back to the normal. And when water potential increases, what do we have to do? We have to decrease the water potential so that the water potential just returns to the normal set point. In order to decrease the water potential, we should release more water outside the body. So we should produce dilute urine. Therefore, the posterior pituitary gland stops secreting ADH because ADH is the one that produces concentrated urine. So ADH secretion must be stopped in order to produce dilute urine. Okay, when the ADH secretion is stopped, then it will not cause vesicles surrounded by membrane containing aquaporins to fuse with the cell surface membrane. Therefore, aquaporins will be moved out of the cell surface membrane, and then, as a result, collecting duct will become impermeable to water. Thus, the water cannot move out of the collecting duct cells, so more water will be carried through the collecting duct cell, and eventually dilute urine will be produced, decreasing the water potential inside the body cell.